Proverbs 3:5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding." Proverbs 28:26 says, "Those who trust their own insight are foolish, but anyone who walks in wisdom is safe." The Bible emphasizes that our feelings cannot be trusted as they constantly change due to our emotional state and are influenced by sin. Our feelings can lift us up one moment and bring us down the next. As humans, we experience mood swings due to hormonal issues, family or job pressures, and other circumstances. Our feelings are easily influenced by words, actions, and tones. This is where the problem of trusting our feelings arises. How can we rely on something that is always changing? As believers, we must fight against our flesh, which can lead us to make decisions based on our feelings instead of trusting God. Our feelings can lead us to disobey God. And if we want to live a righteous life, we must learn to walk by faith and not by feelings. James 1:6 says, "But when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in God alone." We are called to trust in God alone and not rely on what we see or feel. We must rely on the knowledge that God is always in control. 2 Corinthians 5:7 states, "For we live by believing and not by seeing." We often allow feelings to dictate our stance with God rather than what His Word declares. God calls us to live by faith, which means acting not based on our feelings, but on what God calls us to do. Walking by faith means praying in the knowledge that God will work. John 15:7 says, "But if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want, and it will be granted." Walking by faith means relying on God to show the way and counting on Him to provide the wisdom needed to make the right decision. In the book, Rees Howell's Intercessor, Reverend Evan Hopkins teaches about 3 positions that can happen in a Christian's life: struggling, clinging, and resting. The illustration used is of a shipwreck, where people are thrown into the sea. In the struggling position, they are in the water, fighting against the waves, and are in need of help. In the clinging position, they are holding onto the boat, they are safe, but cannot help anyone else because both their hands are occupied. In the resting position, they are sitting in the boat with both hands free to help others. The place of deliverance is always when they get to the resting, faith. Are you resting in faith, fully trusting our Heavenly Father to supply all your needs? Matthew 17:20 says, "I tell you the truth. If you had faith, even as small as a mustard seed, you could say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it would move." Nothing would be impossible the next time you pray. Ask God to bring you to that resting position of faith. Ask Him to help you overcome the whispers of the enemy who tries to tell you God won't help you. When you pray in faith, fully trusting God alone to provide for and guide you, He will hear you and He will speak to you, whether through His Word or through His people whom He has purposely placed in your life. However He chooses to speak and work, simply trust Him, and He will answer in His perfect timing and perfect way. John 14:1 says, "Don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God, and trust also in me."